Hi all, I thought it would be interesting to look at the Blitz games, which were 5 minutes each but 2 seconds for every move, so every move they get another 2 seconds. This was the first game, so Kasparov was white against Karpov, and Karpov is playing his Queen's Gambit declined with this Bishop E7, so this didn't really work out in the 30-minute where there was 5-second increment per move. So where is Karpov going to deviate, you may wonder. Actually, let's flip the board to have it from the white perspective. So Bishop D6, Bishop takes D6, Queen takes D6. So we've seen this position before in the 30-minute games. So Bishop D3, now Knight E7 again. So F3. And now Karpov deviates, I think, with B6, so he's immediately trying to exchange off the light squared bishop. Knight G2, Bishop A6. So after E4 now, he doesn't want Kasparov to have this wedge in the centre with E5, so he actually plays F6. Kasparov took on D5. Now Bishop takes D3, Queen takes C takes D5. So is black okay? There doesn't seem to be too many concrete threats for white, and white does seem to have, a few dark square weaknesses around the place. So it doesn't seem that bad for black here. And now Kasparov plays F4. If he can get in F5 and maybe Knight F4, the knight will be brilliant there, to go into E6. So Karpov actually reacted, I think, quite well with F5, just stopping that plan. So King H1 now. So maybe, Kasparov is planning Knight G1 to F3 to this E5 square as destination. A6, now Knight G1, Knight D7. Now Kasparov plays Knight A4. And this is quite curious what happens here. Kasparov does a strange positional pawn sack after B5. He just plays Knight C5. I'm not sure there's that much compensation here. So Karpov is a pawn up, but there is this Knight F3 to E5, and there is the E file pressure, and the C file gain of tempo immediately. So Queen D6, Rook Fe1, Rook AC8. The rooks came off. Now after Knight F3, Karpov has a good manoeuvre now against this Knight E5. He plays Rook C4, and his rook's coming in now to E4. So after G3, which also he's provoked a weakness on G3. Oh dear, what have I done? Let's go back. G3, Rook E4. I think black's better. Karpov is better in 5 minutes at the moment. Pardon me. So Rook C1, H6, giving some air for the king, letting the knight move perhaps. Now Rook E6, Knight B3. So okay, there's a strong D4 square, but on the other hand, Queen B4, and now black's threatening Rook E1 check. So remember, this is just a 5-minute game in effect, so we shouldn't really put it under too much scrutiny. I don't want to spend too long, analysing. I want to try and get each of these games into the YouTube 10 minutes. So I'm going to be skimming a bit the moves now. But I would just say, Karpov is better here. He's got a Rook on the 7th, and after Rook C2, he's getting a simpler and simpler ending to play. So D4, this pawn's quite a menace. He exchanges off knights. So we've got a clear-cut rook and pawn ending. So Rook C2 with D1, now Rook C4. And now Karpov gets his king going towards the centre. And here, look at this technique from Karpov, it's quite good. So the king is infiltrating to F3. Rook E5, check. Now this B pawn's also dangerous. But Kasparov is going to get this B pawn potentially. But now his king side pawns drop, and all Karpov needs, he's got it under lock and key, but all Karpov needs is the H pawn. So he's prepared even to sack his rook now. Rook takes F7, so he's got a decisive H pawn, building a bridge there with Rook F4 to have Rook G4 to Rook G8. So check. King G2, and Kasparov here resigns. So Kasparov playing white did suffer a defeat in an opening which you know, he'd done well in the 30-minute games. If we have a look at this, so yeah, it's all slightly different now because of black playing b6. So has he changed the assessment of the position? I'm not really sure. It's just a 5-minute game. We can't really judge the opening much from what happened here. It seems ED is mostly harmless, judging from this game. If black's got rid of the light squared bishops, it seems, especially after f4, you know, black does seem to have a promising position. So why did actually Kasparov play this knight a4 business though? Why couldn't he just play rook ae1? I wonder, maybe, you know, he was frightened of b5 knight b6 to c4, or knight f6 to e4 looks good actually. Yeah, actually knight f6 to e4. So anyway, you know, he dropped that pawn. He got a bit of compensation for it, but some nice rook manoeuvring and a nice rook and pawn ending by Karpov to get the first of the 8 Blitz games. So he was 1-0 up now, Karpov, after this nice win. Hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.